I know we are all CMOs and CEOs and CXOs, and therefore we are looking at that from that particular perspective, right? One of the challenges that I've seen is how do you let the vision of the organization percolate down the organization? And honestly, I've seen this, and again, I'm making a very, very comment which some may find very offensive. I found that the vision for marketing percolates down the organization much better. Production also, logistics also, but not so much for finance.
Finance can be shepherd. So many things, you see, yes, I think in any organization, if you see the marketers, I think they're so creative. And that's their core job. That's why their communication is very effective. A finance guy has always been considered as an introvert guy. And I'm a born introvert also. If you see, that's how naturally people takes into finance. Don't overestimate a finance guy to understand the intangibles. We are being structured in a manner to understand the tangibles much better. So if we'll ask that, okay, we'll manufacture a factory, there will be a factory, the factory will produce this many tons, then we'll see that what is the sales trend. Easy to connect. If you really want a finance to be a finance business partner, then you have to keep them with your right-hand side who understands the intangibles, who understand that I need to create something for future. The innovation pipelines has to be there so that we survive. Otherwise, it's difficult.
But I would also disagree to your statement.
Please.
A marketing budget successfully percolating down will only happen if the marketing head or the CMO or the brand or company knows that what is the budget, right? The budget gets defined at the organization level, right? So the finance budget in terms of, let's say if you have $100 million of sales, that is definitely split by products and brands or categories, right? Your receivables, your working capital, your days sales outstanding, your new product innovation, all those budgets which get defined gets split by segments, get very well percolated down to business heads, manufacturing heads, so on and so forth. And then, of course, those units work on those budgets. So I think it would be wrong to say that finance budgets do not percolate down. They will. In fact, the whole starting point for anybody outside of finance is only when the budgets really come to them to be able to do it effectively. So I think that statement would not be true in any situation, actually. Maybe if you prefer.
My point was slightly different. What I said was that the vision
of the company
it's not the
doesn't
budget.
calculate within finance.
Vision of marketing, we know.
Yeah.
But the vision, what he said about, okay, I take this CXO with me or CFO.
Yeah, get it.
That vision doesn't percolate down to the clerk.
So
maybe
that's where the human qualities of a leader comes here. That's where, of course,
more leadership than communication or.
Agreed.
So maybe finance is still being considered as a transactional function wherein, like I have seen, most of the population in finance, you take for the strategy part, maybe a top 5% or 10% people would be involved. 90% are still involved in a lot of transactional work, and they don't have an ambition to reach to that level.
And the bigger the organization is,
that is how it. So somewhere in the entire organization, that is, I have seen that finance guys, when we talk about the strategy, mission, vision, goal, ambition, they still, some people from the finance may be pulled in, but whereas the other entire marketing team, you will do workshops for them, the entire customer support team, the entire production team, you may do a lot of ice breaking for them, you may involve in a lot of collaboration, decision making, onboarding, but entire finance team has not been.
Because for finance, the understanding is that they are the ultimate gatekeepers. ये bill कैसे process हो गया? ये तो approval authority में नहीं है. ये क्यों हो गया? So that question, you always ask the finance guy. You never ask the marketing guy कि कैसे bill आया तुम्हारा? Because he's the ultimate. The moment he signs and passes, it is there in your P&L. It's gone. Money is out of the business. So
difference of opinion actually. If you see, I have my experience that many times you are not transparent what happened in the boardroom and why I lost to convince the leadership team that this budget should be approved. Right. So that pocket veto, what happens, saying that, oh, I had a great case, this finance bande ne na mana kar diya hai, iske paas. Very conservative. That's the easy way of convincing the team sometimes. Sometimes that's what I find, that the easy way to communicate, saying that the finance ka budget constraint tha, isliye mana kar diya. It's not that, okay, there are more compelling cases. Those got approved and this, my thing, could not be approved.
So, I would like to start from you this particular. Is it more of a budget, therefore becomes more of a power dynamics between in the organization? I mean, is it primarily an HR issue that we are mistaking for a finance versus everybody else?
No, I don't think so. Budget is primarily a business issue. Okay, and it is decided between the CMO operation, from where the cost has to come and from where you have to spend the money. Actually, that is the entire game which you have to fix.
What it should be. But can we look at what it is? See, I mean, the point that you raised, which is such an important point. My budget doesn't get approved. My idea wasn't bad. It was you who were bad. Right? So it's somewhere down.
See, we sometimes very, in casual conversation, we say that, so-and-so company is a finance-led company.
Yeah.
Or so-and-so company is a business-led company. Why does that happen? So it is, there is no one answer to it. It again goes to the DNA of the company. It again goes to the softer aspect of people running the leadership positions. We have seen companies, when a leader at the top changes, suddenly being a finance control driven company where the shots were being called by CFOs driven by the stock markets, and it percolates down in the budgets. And people can have cribs all night, ki ek kya budget hai, so on and so forth. Suddenly transform with a leadership change where it is a business oriented, right, with deeper collaboration. I think both exist. Now, of course, the ideal existence is more collaborative, bottoms up, but bottoms up without losing the focus on the strategic direction in which you want to go, right? So that vision becomes a very, very important gatekeeper that, okay, marketing, production, everybody, all bottoms up, budget comes to X. But if you have to really make a dent in the market, we need to be at X plus X percentage. So it's a to and fro. Budget is never a one cycle closure. It is a collaborative to and fro. And then it finally takes a shape. Yes.
I think the mistake we all do is think that budget is a finance function,
which is not.
Which it is.
Finance is the orchestrator of that. A very important orchestrator of that, but not the only doer of that.
So it's orchestrator, I would say gatekeeper also.
Gatekeeper also, correct. Both. Yeah.
Finance may play the role of enabler or controller.
Exactly.
And not the ultimate accountability.
It's like to square one, where they actually control.
Yeah.
So, of late, actually, what has happened, just sorry for a second. Go ahead. Of late, this used to be, sometimes the organization used to be misguided because of a long budget also. So what has happened of late, we said that, okay, we'll make a long-term strategic plan, 3 years or 5 years. It used to be 5 years, now it has been reduced to 3 years. Then you know that, okay, what is my strategy? And this is the strategy, this is my North Star. We'll go in this direction. So now it has become a bit easier for many of the finance functions and the leadership also to align the budget. Saying that, okay, if I have a very creative idea, maybe a great idea, but whether it was in our plan, if it was not planned, let's keep it aside. Great idea, let's park it. So that's how the conflicts have come down to a great extent of it.
But the point which you made on the human part, it does exist. I agree with you. It's a very subtle thing. I think, the part that finance has to, I think organizations have built-in checks and balances through functions. That's how they have to operate, small or big. And finance is one of the balancing function. Now, I don't think that any of the people should misconstrue that his job is to hold back anything, right? He also wants that organization should grow. But that's the way people look at it. That his job is to cut.
His neck is out, because each of this is something.
Everybody has.
Yes.
So see, the point is that, how do you make him understand and bridge that gap is also your responsibility.
Exactly. Again, you're back to the soft skill of the leader to be able to get this through.
So I've experienced multiple times when the guy has said on a mail not approved. But when you go walk up to him, explain him, he's a very different person. Yeah. Because he's not understood where you're coming from. What do you want? Right. And sometimes people just give away, right? Approve nahi ho, I don't care.
An example I'll say, but okay, I think we can connect to. You have a marketing budget, okay, and you have a sales which is spread across the 12 months. Suppose in quarter one, you come and say that I have an amazing idea, I have to burst X number of times in this media, and this is the creative I have to create. And you're almost consuming 70% of your budget within your budget. Somebody will say no, because what's going in our mind, the next 12 months, if one quarter you make fail, the P&L, the cost is already there. Revenue is yet to come. So these are the challenges what goes in our mind. And that's why, because of our lack of communication or lack of the willingness of the other person to listen to us, it comes up as saying that, oh, it's a blunt no from the finance.
But have you also experienced that budgets these days are very, very dynamic? We make a lot of pit stops during the year, say a quarterly update, a monthly update, 6 monthly. Let us redo what lies in the next 6 months. Last quarter, what does it do? How should we be catching up on certain lights? It is a very dynamic process now.
So